everyone, it's Cherise and welcome to my February Plan With Me video. For February, I went for something adventurous and I'm going back to using watercolor again this month. As I've said before that at first I was intimidated to use, and this year I started my monthly setup with the use of watercolor and I'm really happy how it turned out and you guys also loved it, so I'm doing the same again for this month. My theme for February is kayak and exploring the waters. I want to do a full painting on the cover page but leaving a centimeter margin on all sides, so I'm securing them with washi tape. All the supplies I'll be using for this setup will be linked down on the description box. I'm starting off with painting a whale using a number 4 paintbrush with an indigo paint mixed with a little bit of black. I started the painting process from the tail. I try not to wet the paper much, so I'm taking more pigment, and I find using a binder clip on the side to keep the paper flat and buckles less, especially when doing a full painting on the page. A whale is normally in a jet black color, but since it's underwater, I want to blend its color with the blue waters, and the white patches on its belly and the eye are painted with light blue. After the paint has dried up, I went back to add another layer to make it a bit darker. I left some parts of it as a shadow. After the whale, I worked on next with the kayak. I'm using a bright yellow paint for it to complement the whale and the blue waters. Some artists prefer to work first with the background before the details of the painting. I oftentimes do the same, but for this one, I worked with the details first. Anyway, you can always choose a technique that works for you if you want to try painting as well. Then I painted in the aerial view of these little humans while paddling. Again, I always make sure to let the paint dry first before painting with another color so it won't blend in. If I'm in a hurry or not patient enough to wait, I can also gently pat it with a dry tissue to lift the excess water. I'm also painting a flying bird using a white paint as the first layer. Then I added a grayish tone to it. I carefully outlined the feathers and the beak with black paint using the tip of the brush. The final step for the cover page painting is a 2-layer wash of a lake blue paint. I've had a lot of people asking how to paint watercolor without bleeding through the paper. I always say that it's all about your technique, the weight, and the type of the paper, and how careful or conservative you are when painting. There are notebooks where paper are made with watercolor paper, and mostly are not. So if you want to do heavy paintings on your bullet journals, choose one with a heavy or thicker paper. I'm using a notebook with 160 GSM paper from Maisy Lane Co. Also, always do a paint test at the back so you can see what technique works and what not. For the final step, I'm just adding fine lines around the whale, the kayak, and the paddles with the same color but with more pigment. And lastly, I'm writing February in a cursive font using my Tombow Fudenosuke hard tip brush pen. And of course, here's the exciting part, the peeling off of the washi tape. Look how satisfying it is to see those straight edges around the painting. And now on the left side is my quote page. I'm painting an illustration of a man on his back who's out to explore the waters. I'm using the same color palette with the cover page. Here, I'm using my Sakura Pigmamicron in .003 nib to outline the painting to make it look a bit sketchy. Then I'm painting the water with a bigger brush and finish it off by creating swirls on the water, wider near the boat, and getting narrow as it goes away. My quote for this month is, "The adventure awaits." Adventure has always been out there and I can't wait to go and explore again. On to my next spread is my monthly calendar. I decided to go again with the same layout as I did for my January calendar. It's very simple and minimal using my Sakura Pigmamicron .03 fine liner. One more thing I'm very happy about is the days of this month because it starts on a Monday and ends on a Sunday. Just how exact all the dates are. Then I'm doing a small illustration of the same yellow boat and paddles crossing each other, and lastly is the month in the same cursive font. The next spread is my monthly goals. I'm drawing a border around the page, then I'm working on the illustration of the kayak showing the bow, deck, and a view of the cockpit. I'm also painting a paddle resting on the top of it. Lastly, on this spread's painting is again a blue background. I'm working from bottom to the middle where it gets dark to light. Then on top will be the title of the spread. The next spread I'm doing is my content planner. I'm painting a petal that is pointing towards the next page with color patterns on the blade. The color combinations are lake blue, indigo, and brown. Then I'm writing the days and dates vertically. Then lastly is the title of the spread on top of the paddle shaft. Another spread I'm doing for this month is my waiting on spread. If you guys are waiting on something you ordered online or something that is being sent to you, then this is a great addition to your spreads. I'm doing the same illustration, but this time the paddle is on the bottom and the blade is pointing towards the other page, and the color combination is lake blue, yellow ochre, and brown. Above it are columns where I list down the item, from where the item is coming from, and the date the item is shipped. The last spread I'm creating for this video are my weeklies. This layout is heavily inspired by Anna of Journal Away here on YouTube and at Journal Away on Instagram. The particular inspiration for this layout is from her September 2020 weekly spreads. I'll link down her channel and Instagram account on the description and give her a follow because she is amazing. I'll be doing an illustration of a riverscape or a river landscape with a simple painting of trees and the frontal part of the kayak boat. I also reused the washi tapes I used from the cover page to achieve those straight edges on the painting. For the trees, I'm just painting them with the tip of the brush in thin and triangular strokes. The details doesn't really matter that much because it's actually fine if it's quite messy. The trees on the front are the darkest and the ones at the back will be lighter by dipping the brush into the water so it becomes less pigmented. And then I'm painting the sky with a wash of a sky blue color. After that, I'll be working with the kayak boat, the frontal part again, and the same color just to make it uniform with the other illustrations. Finally, for the painting of this scene is the river where I'm barely spreading the paint to create an effect of a gently flowing river. When the paint has dried up, I'm just finishing it with drawing of ropes on the deck of the boat. The other half of this page will be my mood tracker. Different shades of blue will serve as my moods. The lightest will be my happiest and the darkest as my saddest. Since the layout of my weeklies will be consisted of Dutch doors with tabs, I started cutting them off with a pair of scissors. This is going to be my second time using Dutch doors on my monthly setup, and they are actually fun to use. I'm not going to show anymore how I cut the rest to save us time, and to fast forward with my habit tracker, I skipped filming the illustration of the other side of the spread because it's just a mirror of the other one. I'm using a simple habit tracker. The dates are on the left side and the habits to be tracked are at the bottom. I'm designing the tabs with pattern paddles. Each week has different pattern designs, and each tab are both painted on the front and on the back. finally, to complete my monthly setup for February, I'm writing all the days and dates for this month and the week number on each tab. I know this setup has been the longest setup or plan with me video I have done to date, but I'm very happy to try this kind of setup, and it's actually one of my creative goals this year, and as the theme suggests, to be more adventurous, and that is what I just did. Let me know if trying different spreads and layouts are one of your bullet journaling or creative goals too this year. If you're inspired to recreate my spreads, tag me on Instagram because I'd love to see them. Thank you so much for staying till the end of this video. If you liked it, please consider subscribing and give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye!